Hi, welcome to iTV-Asia. I'm your host, Lifestyle Branding in China. My name is Claire Chen. I'm the CEO of Wong Group's brand consultant. Today we have honor in our special guest, Adrian Wong from Vertu. He's a marketing manager of Vertu, Great China. Hi, Adrian.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, you're welcome.
Can you briefly introduce about yourself and about the Vertu?
Okay. Well, for me, I've been in the luxury business for 5 to 6 years, and before that, I was in advertising. Advertising provided a very good background for me in this whole business because I had a personal interest in the products, and I was able to adapt my interest to work and somehow skew it to what I wanted to do. I was very lucky that when I decided to leave advertising, I was able to move into the luxury market, first in jewelry, and then here with a luxury accessory like Vertu. The experience in jewelry was very helpful for me with Vertu because in some ways Vertu can be considered as a high-end jewelry for certain people. And at the same time, you're talking about the same kind of customer, people with an appreciation for finer things. They like precious things, or they like something very exclusive. So in a way, experience in jewelry really helped me or gave me the foundation to do what I do here at Vertu. Vertu, if not many people know about it, it's a luxury mobile phone company. It's the first luxury mobile phone company in the world, and that means being the first, we had to deal with all the problems, and we also got to enjoy all of the glory.
Definitely.
But it wasn't easy for us. The company is only 5 years old. The phone was first launched in 2002. So today, 5 years later, you could say as a luxury company, we've come a very long way and very quickly indeed. Not many companies can enjoy the same sort of growth that we have enjoyed. But saying that, it wasn't that easy in the early years. Now, 5 years down the road, we can proudly say and we can safely say that we've managed to sort out a lot of things that was difficult, because you have to understand, it's not like there were other models that we could follow. There were other brands that we could emulate. Vertu was a pioneer in not only in its category, but also in its product. There were no luxury phones in the whole world, and for us to come out with one, we had to explain the concept to people. We had to tell them what made our phone different from other phones, and this was really strange. The company actually began around 1997, 1998. The chief designer at Nokia at that time, Frank Nouveau, came up with the concept of personalization. And if you can recall, 97 is around the time where Nokia started introducing covers that you could change, so you could choose your own favorite color. Exactly. Yeah. So he was thinking, well, if we could do this, then we have a great chance of actually being able to differentiate ourselves in another way, and not just across the board with a color, but maybe upwards by offering something more exclusive, something more precious. So we started thinking of doing this, and presented the idea to Nokia, and I think that's what started the whole ball rolling. They saw the potential in the market, so they set up Vertu as a separate arm, and they said, let's put some R&D into this, and let's start working on a luxury mobile phone. Now, at that time, there was nothing you could compare us to, or we could look at for guidance. I mean, let's say right now, if you decide to start a fashion brand or an accessory brand, whether it's shoes or handbags or fashion, you could say, oh, I would like to follow the Louis Vuitton road, or I'd like to follow the Chanel road, or something more trendy like a Chloe, or something more avant-garde like a Chris Van Ash, or something more edgy. But when it came to Vertu, there was nothing. It was blank. And we had to set the whole way. So we started out with the design of the phone. We knew that we wanted to make a phone that was unique, and we wanted to make a phone that would be ultimately luxurious when you looked at it. And of course, if you want it to be a luxury mobile phone, then you're faced with a lot of questions. How long was the product supposed to last? Because mobile phones would only last for a certain time before they become obsolete, not just in terms of functions, but also in terms of design. Because now if you look at a 1989 mobile phone, or you look at a 2004 mobile phone and you look at it
Totally
now
different,
and you're like,
yes.
oh, I don't want something that's old or whatever. So we had to come up with a design of something that would be very classic and stand the test of time. So they went and researched and they thought of all the different things that they could do with the phone. All the ideas started coming out and they were thinking of how they can make a phone that would not only be technologically sound, but also luxury at the same time. So they were stuck with this whole thing and they had to find ways of creating this phone and coming up with a design. Well, they finally found a design and they finally found things that they could put into the phone and to make it different. And these elements have become what is known as the Vertu DNA. Luxury materials, sound technology, and by sound I don't mean the listening kind, but something that's very stable.
Yes.
Because
quality.
exactly,
Yes.
because the phones are made to last, and therefore what we do inside of the phone, because it's, after all, it's a mobile phone, it's technological, it has got to be able to stand the test of time. And the third is to have a certain feel about it that sets it apart from other brands.
Yes.
So in terms of luxury, we decided on the few things that would make us different. So we looked at watches, we looked at cars, we looked at jewelry, we looked at fashion. So from all these different categories of luxury, we tried to find things which we could identify with and put into a mobile phone. So we ended up looking at jewelry and watches, and that's when we created our first Vertu, which is called the Signature. And the Signature was, to this day, it's still my favorite mobile phone because I think it's really elegant, and the style of it, even though it was created 5 years ago, I look at it today, I still fall in love with it because I think it's so elegant. Anyway, they created this phone and they thought that the elements of this phone to set it apart would be to have a scratch-proof face, because the problem that a lot of people have with a mobile phone, you know, it's new, it's nice, it's
yes.
shiny, you throw it in the bag, you throw it everywhere, it gets scratched.
Yes.
So decided to use sapphire crystal to make sure that the glass will never get scratched. And then they decided to use precious metals because right away you see gold, you know it's expensive, especially yellow gold. So they decided that yes, sapphire crystal, precious metal, and because they've used so much metal, they had to find a contrast to it. So they decided on leather. So if the steel is or the metal is cold, then the leather is warm. So you've got smooth and you've got something that is really nice to hold. And then there were other things, ruby bearings to use inside, because ruby bearings were top of the line, most longest lasting parts. We have elements like ceramic, which is the same kind of ceramic that you find in Rado watches, Chanel watches, which was very new, and it's very smooth to touch, also a very nice tactile feeling. And if you notice, I keep on saying touch because at the end of the day, this is a mobile phone that you always, you always want to behold it and you always want to be reminded of it. And then the most important thing of it was that it had to have a luxury feel. So we designed things into the phone that would make it feel special. Like when you drive an expensive car, you close the door of a BMW or a Mercedes-Benz, it's got that feel about it. Yeah. When you click a Mont Blanc pen, or when you close the cap, there's that sound, there's that feel, there's that weight. So we ended up with a whole design, and we had the Signature. And the Signature, I
can't wait to see it.
I apologize because this is the top of the line Signature. It's not the usual one. It is a diamond Signature mobile phone. But this was the first and original design. Yes. It's a lot bigger than your normal mobile phones. Yes. But the design hasn't changed since 2002.
So it's actually very collective.
It's
like an art piece.
Exactly. And if you look at it today, it could look as if it just came out last year. And it doesn't even look like it's aged at all. Yeah, exactly. Okay, in the front you have sapphire crystal, which is this whole piece here, which has been split up into 7 parts. It's also, when it was first launched, it was the biggest piece of sapphire crystal. And the thing that they found really quite difficult was that if you're making a mobile phone these days, it's quite easy. You need this part, you call up the supplier. But when Vertu was making the mobile phone, you can't call the supplier and say, you know, I need this part for my phone, because these parts didn't exist. This is a ceramic that they had never made before. This piece of sapphire crystal had to be specially created for us. It was made almost as long as this phone, and then it's cut up into 7 different pieces. So this this,
Yeah,
this
that's big.
is all scratch proof.
Yeah.
Pass me your pen. Virtually scratch proof. Okay?
Wow.
Which means it's gonna, you don't have to worry about things scratching it or whatever, right? And then materials. This one is made out of white gold.
Yes.
We also have a stainless steel version, but when you're looking at the precious metals, this is white gold, this whole rim is white gold, the buttons are white gold, this back plate is white gold, even these screws are made out of white gold. So you have that attention to detail. And when you think about it, to have all these details, it's like a watch. Your watch is not going to have gold on the outside and then plastic on the inside. It's going to be gold throughout.
Yes.
And those are the ideas that we followed. And then at the side, leather. So when you hold it, you've got the
You gotta
contrast
touch,
of,
yeah.
exactly. And then ceramic again at the back. Ceramic is because it's smooth, and when you put it against your ear, it's like putting glass. So it's got a very nice feeling. So everything about the Vertu was made to be felt, to be enjoyed. And hold it.
Well,
Okay. What is your first thing? It's not light, is it?
it's not. You've heard something really.
Now, how would you feel if I told you that this phone cost $640,000 and it felt light? You would find it really hard to believe that the phone cost so much. But because there is a weight to a Vertu, and it's not a weight that we add. It's not like you open it and you find that we've put things there to make it heavy, but it's a ceramic. It's a sapphire crystal. It's the gold that gives it this
itself,
exactly. Yeah. And then inside we've got gold, because gold is the best conductor. We've got ruby bearings in here because ruby bearings last a very long time.
Yes.
The whole complication of the phone, everything. This phone has got 400 parts, as compared to a normal mobile phone, which has got like less than 70. It takes up to 8 hours to hand assemble this. So you're looking at something that follows the traditions of watches, something that follows the tradition of traditional handcraft, using the hands to do it.
Yes.
Not like your other mobile phone, which goes to the factory, chum, 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 chum. 1 minute later, you have a mobile phone from start to finish, ready to pack. So this is our most complicated phone, and it's our most iconic phone, the signature of it. So when we first launched this phone, a lot of people saw the brand and they were like, huh? The opening price, I think, was about 40,000 Hong Kong dollars or 50,000 Hong Kong dollars. And they were like, oh, that is so expensive, that is so mad. And no one really understood it, because they had never seen an expensive mobile phone before that was made out of gold or silver or anything. Now, if you look at a jewel watch, of course you'd understand. But just think back to the time when you saw the first watch with diamonds or jewels on it. You'd be like, wow, they're mad. Who'd want to wear a watch with jewels? And then now, the watch with jewelry is accepted as everyday, the same way as a pen or a handbag is. Who would have thought 20 years ago that a handbag could cost up to 40,000 or maybe even more?
So actually, luxury goods actually create from the some of a desire actually inside of people's mind.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we create something, and we know that people would want to set themselves apart by having something different. Now, whenever people ask me why make a Vertu, I always tell them this: you drive a beautiful car, you've got beautiful clothes, you have an expensive watch, or you carry a beautiful handbag. When your phone rings and you're with other people, you want to make sure that you don't pull out a plasticky phone. You want to pull out something that is as refined and as elegant as everything else that you have. So when their phone rings and you take it out of your pocket and people see this, they're like, oh, that person has good taste, or that person is very stylish. So that is the whole concept of a Vertu. It's a beautiful object, the way everyone else has been making beautiful objects. You see beautiful handbags, beautiful clothes, watches. The Vertu is in that tradition. So if people ask, why do they want to make such an expensive mobile phone, or why do they want to do this to a mobile phone? Why have we been making beautiful things? Because people will always love and appreciate beautiful things. Exactly.
Definitely. So we know the China market is booming, and luxury market is now number 3 in the world, and people forecast very soon will be a number 1 in the world. And how Vertu come to China, and how Vertu responds the luxury market in China, the needs and the market change?
Well, like I said before, the brand is a very new brand. We're only 5 years old worldwide. not just in China or in anywhere. We first came to China in 2004. Our first store was in Beijing, in Lufthansa shopping center, Beijing Youyi Xiangchang.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, China's most well-known
luxury
department store
yeah.
exactly at that time. So that was one of our first points of sale, and it was very good for us because people realized that if it's sold in that department store, then it is a reputable product. It was very difficult for us, but we started to expand. We had stores in Beijing, in Shanghai, in Hangzhou, in Chengdu, Dalian, and Shenyang. And there's one more which I'm not quite sure. I always forget the last one. So all these points of sale we set up because we realized that these were areas where people would be interested in a product like ours. And we started slowly. We started by introducing our collections. We made sure, number one, that people knew about us. So marketing-wise, we had to create some awareness. And then once the awareness was created, then we had to make sure that there was supply. Now, because our phones are hand-assembled, supply is very hard to gauge. Some watchmakers take up to 1 year to deliver a product. Thank God we don't have to wait that long. But we have experienced, to be very honest, some product delays. But the market has always been very patient in waiting for it because they know this isn't an everyday product. It's not something that you can come by. In fact, we have some stores where the new products never even hit the shelves because there's a waiting list for them. And the moment they come in, the customers come and take them before they can even be displayed. So there have been times where the stores look empty. And it's a situation which we're not very proud of, but we're very happy with because it means people are buying our products.
Yes.
We started in 2004 with 7 corners or counters all over China. And today we have 25, mostly in the bigger cities, Beijing, Shanghai, also in Hangzhou, but we've also expanded to Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Wenzhou, even places like Qingdao, Tianjin, Harbin, Shenyang, Kunming, remembering all the places that I've been to, Xi'an, and then recently we just had an event in Taiyuan. So all these places where we've opened up, it just basically shows that there is a market and there are people looking for these products. So within each and every market, there's of course a need to create awareness. There's a need to make sure that the products are equipped. So for us, it was a matter of making sure that we found the right people to distribute our products, the right people to work with, not just in the retail business, but in terms of PR, in terms of marketing, in terms of supply. In fact, we had a customer event in May this year because we just had a recent collaboration with Ferrari. We created this phone especially for Ferrari's 60th anniversary. So Ferrari branded, Ferrari horse, and this customer event is just one of the few things that we do to create the whole luxury environment, or well, not even luxury, the Vertu environment for our customers to enjoy and to understand. We also have a few standalone stores. We have one in Beijing, in Dongfang Guangchang, Oriental Plaza, and then in Shanghai, the most beautiful store for Vertu at the Bani Tin, at the Waitan Shipahao. And then also in Taiyuan is a standalone store.
I'm curious about Taiyuan,
coal and steel, they told me. Coal and steel is what Taiyuan is built on, and we're quite happy with our business there.
Interesting.
So I mean, a lot of times, what you see is that you have people who are coming into money, people who want to have nice things, and of course, no one's gonna first off buy a mobile phone. They would probably buy things that would make them happy. The car, the home, and all that. Yeah, but when they've got all that, when all that has already been taken,
that's actually where go to the luxury things.
That's when they start to buy the diamond-studded washing machine. That's when they buy the collar for the dog, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, because at the end of the day, the Vertu is a phone that, well, we say the Vertu is created for winners. And by winners, we mean people who are successful. And a lot of times, our customers buy Vertu because they have just achieved something. Maybe they worked really hard, they got a good bonus. Or maybe they just signed a contract and their business is growing. And this is just one of the ways they use to reward themselves.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, I mean, the Vertu is something that you would not ordinarily buy. Because if you think about it too much, you'd probably not want to buy it.
You won't think about that for luxury goods.
Exactly. And they would always say, you know, people will always say, it's a mobile phone, I always lose mobile phones, you know, da. But one thing, a person who has used a Vertu, he grows to understand the concept of a Vertu. And once he has a Vertu, he doesn't really want to change. I find it very hard to change when I have to use a normal mobile phone because the difference is really, really great in there.
Would you like show us, because we just talk about this different your customer in different cities. A lot of the on the second tier or third tier city in China, this we see the huge demand of luxury goods in the second tier and third tier city. What will you compare your customer profile like in Europe or other city, and compare to China?
A lot of people think that the customer in China is very different, but no, it's not. At the end of the day, our customers all over the world are people who have worked hard and people who have achieved something and who are successful, you know, financially successful or even commercially successful. And these are people who want the good things. They have worked hard and they want to treat themselves. They want to reward themselves. And you find this behavior, not just in China, you find it all over the world with people who work hard. A lot of people say that, oh, you know, your customer is different from here or from there, whatever. I say what is different is their taste. Maybe in this country they prefer, the Ascend phone because they like sports cars or whatever. And then maybe in this country they prefer this phone because they like diamond, they like jewelry, they're more elegant. A lot of it boils down to personal taste. In China, what we find is that our customers' tastes aren't really that different from customers in big luxury markets. We are selling the same products all across the world. The same products are chosen, the same products are selected because for the same people, the people like them. We find that someone who would buy this is probably buying it for his wife or his girlfriend, a very lucky girlfriend. And you know, it's probably to celebrate an anniversary or a birthday. There's always a special occasion, okay? This phone, the Ascent Ferrari 1947, the person who would buy this phone is someone who probably already owns a Ferrari,
yes.
or would like to own a Ferrari, but you know, maybe like he hasn't got a driving license yet,
So
but this is the closest.
Ferrari, get a version.
Exactly. Well, we've got some people who've got a car and they want to match the phone because the phone is a limited edition. They want the same number to match their car. So you've got people who are like different phases of their life, and I wouldn't say that this is just for China alone, but because for me, I mean, I've worked in many different markets. You know, I've worked in the West and I've worked in the East, and people always say that, oh, you've got a Chinese customer who's different. You've got that. Maybe the language that you speak to market your products is different, but at the end of the day, you're saying the same thing to them. This is what.
How about like the consumer's lifestyle? Is that very different? I mean, compared to Europe and China.
I think no. I would say it just looks slightly different on the outside, but inside, it's the same. People in China aren't that different from people anywhere else in the world.
Okay. Will you share with us the strategy of how Vertu is the strategy in target China luxury market?
Our strategy in target China market. Well, number one, we made sure that we are well distributed. So we have to make sure that we are available where people are looking for us. So our network of stores is very, very important. We have to have that visibility because it's no use spending a lot of money in advertising and people don't know where to buy your products. So getting the shops up was very important. And once we got the shops up, then the next step was, of course, advertising. And advertising goes hand in hand with PR, because a lot of it happens in magazines. We need to make sure that we positioned ourselves as a luxury brand and not a technological mobile phone brand. Because, to be very honest, the Vertu as a mobile phone is really will not be able to hold up to any other mobile phone out there. But for one simple reason, the phone's got to last 5 to 10 years. Those other mobile phones that you buy outside would last 1 year, and then you would want to upgrade it to another phone because there's new technology. But think about it. It's not an 18-year-old who's buying a Vertu, or is it a 25-year-old who's buying a Vertu? You're looking at someone who's quite successful in this business, someone who's in his late 20s, early 30s, or maybe even late 30s. So when they've come to that position in life, they're not going to be looking for something they can always change around. Or even if they can change around, they won't just have one. We notice that a lot of people say, oh, your Vertu phone doesn't have a camera. Well, our customers would probably want the best camera. And they know that a camera phone is not going to be the best camera, yes. So they would have a separate camera. Oh, your Vertu phone can't send emails like my BlackBerry. Well, a lot of our customers use the Vertu as their own personal line, and then a BlackBerry is separate. So by positioning ourselves as a luxury accessory, we've managed to actually create a market and demand for us as a product. And creating that whole message of Vertu as a luxury accessory is very important. And we are very grateful to the media in China, because they understand our product and they know our product. In that respect, that hasn't been the same all over the world, because some markets, they don't understand why people would want to buy a $600,000 mobile phone. They just think it's mad, it's too much money, and people would never want to buy it. But you've got some people that understand that there will be some people out there that want the best, that want the most exclusive, that want the most beautiful or the most extravagant. And Vertu is there to offer that for them.
Okay. The last question is, what's your definition for luxury? Yes.
I think luxury is being able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, without having to worry about the bills or the problems that come with it. That is a true luxury, I think.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us your
Claire.
luxury branding experience in China. Thank you for watching our program. This is Claire Chen, your host. I hope to see you soon again. Thanks.